Now, on the 28th of May is Menstrual Hygiene Day. It will be observed. The aim is to educate young girls and women on menstrual hygiene and to help build awareness about the importance of good menstrual hygiene management. This year's theme is making menstruation a normal fact of life by 2030. To unpack some of the stigmas and menstruation health education, I'm now joined by the United Nations Population Fund, who's in Ntsiki, and the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities Siphiwo. Thank you both so much for your time. We do appreciate it. Ntsiki, let me start with you. I can't believe we're actually having this discussion about Menstrual Hygiene Day and the importance about and doing away with these stigmas. But perhaps speak to us about how important this day actually is about creating awareness.
Thank you, and good evening, Heidi, and to the viewers, and good evening to Mr. Matshoba. Menstrual Hygiene Day is very important because it provides a global platform for both policymakers as well as the private sector and also many individuals really to hear the voices and also undertake actions so as to break the stigma around menstruation. More than anything else, it's really to promote Good Menstrual Hygiene Day. So the awareness raising around Menstrual Hygiene Day is to ensure that we prioritize menstrual hygiene and health so that girls and women are able to live a normal life and not to be stigmatized or discriminated when they are menstruating. This is why we have to raise this awareness.
Yes, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Siphiwo, maybe we can bring you in and ask what the department is doing to bring about awareness and to educate young girls, especially in schools where they could possibly be teased, bullied, and there might be a lack of willingness to be aware that, you know, your menstruation is normal and it's part of life. Maybe speak to us about what the department is doing.
Thank you very much, Heidi, and also good evening to Dr. Manzini. We have what we call a sanitary dignity program where we roll out free menstrual pads to women and girls, in particular in this instance, learners in Quintas 1, 2, 3 schools, special
Yeah, unfortunately we
about these products too. In terms of what can also run at
continue. Sorry, I thought we had lost your signal, but you can continue.
Thank you very much. The programs that we run basically advocate for a destigmatization of menstruation to allow this process to be taken as a natural occurrence amongst women and menstruators in general. So what we do is we run advocacy programs on menstrual health and age-appropriate comprehensive sexuality education to ensure that the issue of menstruation is normalized and it is realized that it is a natural process that every girl and woman goes through. So we go throughout the provinces in collaboration with provinces to ensure that apart from just rolling out these free menstrual products to learners, we also ensure that we follow through with campaigns of destigmatization of the process of menstruation.
Maybe we can bring you back in Ntsiki, and just speak about something Siphiwo touched on about having access to sanitary towels and how that becomes sometimes a problem, because as much as you are willing to have to practice hygiene, sometimes there's bad manufacturing of these sanitary pads. And how do we ensure that it does not happen and we have good products, of quality products, when it comes to sanitary pads?
Okay. No, thank you. So the Department of Women is actually working very closely with the manufacturers to promote quality products. And this is also working with the SABS, which is the South African Standard Bureau And really what is needed is to recognize that SABS has got the SANS 1812, which is for reusable pads, and then also the SANS 1023, which is the standard for the disposable sanitary products. And what we are doing is supporting the Department of Women, working very closely with them and the manufacturers to ensure that they go through the quality assurance, that their products go through quality assurance. And this work has also been supported by the Department of Trade and Industry. And I think what is quite important is to recognize that even though the standard is not compulsory, so it's a voluntary standard, I think what is important is that we continue to advocate and to talk to policymakers to really ensure that girls are still afforded the opportunity and be given products that are of quality standards.
Siphiwo, maybe we can bring you in here with regards to actual access to sanitary pads. And I know that the department is doing all it can, and you do have NGOs and everybody else who comes in to assist when it comes to the access to sanitary pads. But everybody's asking, why is this not free, and why, especially in areas where people don't have the means to buy sanitary pads, why is it not easily accessible? Maybe speak to us about why that's not happening and the efforts the department is making to allow this to happen.
If it weren't for budgetary constraints, certainly these products would be free for all women. But to an extent, government has really played a remarkable role thus far.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think load shedding and network issues, it's not on our side this evening. And Ntsiki, maybe I can just end off the question with you to ask how, as much as we need to create awareness around hygiene when it comes to your menstruation, how do we also do away with the stigmas and allow young girls not to feel embarrassed or not to be in a space where they are victimized and there's stigma around your menstruation cycle?
So there are a couple of things that the government is doing. And the first really is to ensure that in our comprehensive sexuality education that is offered in schools and also out of schools, we promote and eradicate, areas around stigma and the social norms that pertain to menstrual health. But in addition to that, I think it's also quite important to involve men and boys, to be able to socialize them and sensitize them about what girls go through, because that is also one way of breaking the stigma and the barriers around menstrual health. So I really would say that we should continue to advocate and raise awareness, ensuring that our boys are also taught about menstruation and be able to support their girls and also their women, so that we can reduce the stigmas against menstrual health.
Definitely. I just think people need to also just stop creating these stigmas. It's completely unnecessary. It's a way of life. It's unfortunate we've lost Siphiwo, but thank you so much. That was the United Nations Population Fund Ntsiki Manzini-Matebula and the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities Siphiwo Matshoba.